Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
I'm Ryan Newman.
And I'm Trey Newman.
All right, we got week 1 coming up. Alabama against Miami in Atlanta is our topic for today. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast as well because we broke down all the big games for the upcoming weekend there. You can find links for Spotify and Apple Podcasts in the description below. But our first question here is, who or what are you most excited to see in this game?
Ooh, that is a good question. I'm excited to see really Bill O'Brien and his offense, I guess. But I'm going to, in particular, I'll say Bill O'Brien because he's following some rather big shoes to fill. Well, obviously, started with Lane Kiffin, and then Sark just took it to a whole nother level. And it's a youth movement that he's going to have to deal with. So I would say Bill O'Brien to see if he can really keep that train going and see what if there's going to be any kind of differences that he would have from the previous coordinator. So I would say that.
For me, it's Alabama's great linebackers against Derek King. It could be the best unit for any position in the country. Christian Harris, Will Anderson, Henry To'o from Tennessee, Christopher Allen. I mean, go on and on. I'm interested to see how they play King. If they force him to purely be a pocket passer, then it might be tough for the Canes to stay in this one.
Okay. For me, it's my kind of obvious answer, at least, is the quarterbacks, just to see Bryce Young and his kind of first action as a starter. And Derek King is always fun to watch. But if I had to go with a kind of a more unique angle, I would say Alabama's wide receivers, because we know about John Mechie and to some extent, Slade Bolden as well. But otherwise, it's mostly unknowns with huge potential. You've got Jamison Williams coming in from Ohio State. He's got a ton of speed, been getting rave reviews in camp, so we'll see if he lives up to the billing. And then you've got the freshmen. You got Ajay Hall and JoJo Earl seem to have been getting the most buzz, at least from what I've read. So we'll see if they can make an immediate impact game 1. You've also got Ja'Cory Brooks, another 5-star. They're loaded, but we just don't know.
Can we take one of those guys on loan? My goodness.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of programs. We're Nebraska fans. We'd love to have any of those guys, so we could really use them. But okay, well let's make our picks in the game. So it's Alabama favored by 19.5. Of course, this game being played in Atlanta. So what do you think, Ryan? Who are you taking?
I am going to go with the Canes. That's a lot of points to give up. And I know Alabama's been dominant, especially even some of these early season matchups. They've done really well lately. But with that amount of production loss, there's got to be some hiccups, right? It can't just be like the Alabama train just literally never stops and they're going to have the best offense ever always.
Yeah, we'll see.
Come on, there's got to be a little hiccup here. And I want to see a somewhat competitive game. Listen, Alabama is going to win, all right? But Miami does have the experience edge. That's got to play for something here. They have a ton of experience coming back on both sides of the ball. So I'm saying that's going to play a factor here. Maybe that Alabama offense has a few penalties in that kind of cost them a little bit because they just still got to work out the kinks maybe a little. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. I'm hoping for a semi-competitive game, so I'm taking the points.
I'm going to take the points as well. I think that the Canes offense, it made great strides last year in Rhett Lashley's system. Could see even more improvement in year 2. And like I mentioned before, the matchup to watch, I think, is Alabama's linebackers against Derek King, because if they try and make him solely one-dimensional, I do think he's more than capable of improvising and making a couple plays with his legs to keep it within the 19.5. But ultimately, similar to you, Ryan, I know Bama is Bama. They'll be exceptional on both sides of the ball. But if it's one of those things, if you have to play them, I think I'd rather do it in week 1. It's Bryce Young's first meaningful snaps against a pretty stout defense led by Manny Diaz, who should have a strong secondary with guys like Bubba Bolden. And Alabama, they're replacing Sark, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, some offensive linemen, Mac Jones. They're going to be great, but maybe not firing on all cylinders in game 1.
Yeah, and this can be somewhat of a blowout, and Miami still cover, right? They can
exactly.
comfortably win by 3 scores, and still Miami covers. So I do like the Canes with that amount of points. Derek King is supposedly fully healthy after that ACL tear. So if that's the case, he's going to make a few plays in this game. And I like, with year 2 of Rhett Lashley's system, you add in Charleston Rambo from Oklahoma at receiver. You've got Will Mallory at tight end. Like, I just think that there's a good amount of weapons. They've got a good stable of running backs. So I think that they can hang in there a little bit and at least cover this number. But the other thing that I like about Miami is not only with all that experience coming back on defense, but they've also added some key experience. I like Zach McLeod at edge rusher. We'll see how that works out for him this year. Kind of a position change there. And bringing in Tyreek Stevenson, a cornerback from Georgia, that's going to be a key piece going up against what we talked about is a deep and talented Alabama receiving corps. So there you go. We are all on the Canes. Maybe we're all falling into that trap where Bama, we think, maybe they can give Bama a little bit of a close game in the first game of the season. It seems like every year Bama just blows USC or whoever out. So we'll see. But thanks for watching this episode of the College Football Bros. Be sure, like I said, to subscribe to our audio podcast, but also join our ESPN Pick'em League. You can go to collegefootballbros.com/pick'em, PICKEM, to join that league, or you can also find the link on Twitter at CFB Bros. We'll tweet out a link to that. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.